and the other one is God, I just can't think of his name right now. It just escapes me. Bobby Drew, Willie Hemphill, and Bobby Drew, Willie Hemphill, and escapes me. John Jacob Lowe. They were medics, except for Sean Daly, and they did not die in Vietnam, but as a result of being there. Okay? And then I also want to mention Jacob George, who was an Afghanistan vet, was in 2 tours in Vietnam, and he committed suicide, along with along with Sean Daly. So anyway, I just want to remember those people. They were all great people, and I will hold them dear to me the rest of my life. Thank you.
I just wanted to add something here too. I had one of our members that's not here, a few of them actually. Will Poole was a World War II veteran and member of Veterans for Peace, outspoken against war. Jamie Skinner, who also died about the same time during 2020, and would come here every year and read a poem. He was Air Force veteran. He had actually was going to go on the Golden Rule to sail to Hawaii, and his illness took hold of him, and he had to cancel that. Just recently, I just learned one of our members' wives just called me the other day, and Ken McDaniels passed away just November 7th, I believe, and they're going to be holding a funeral next Tuesday, or it's coming up soon. And his wife is going to she sent me some pictures and a little bit about what happened. And then it was on November 7th that my colleague, the president of Veterans for Peace, Susan Snoll, her daughter Nina, just passed away, had cancer. And I remember Nina, who was just an incredible, beautiful soul, who I had been in contact with on Facebook as her mother had introduced us some years ago. But we were both at the 50th anniversary of the My Lai massacre in Vietnam, and she was there with her mother Susan, and they were like, two peas in a pod. They were just almost connected at the hip. So I'm so happy that Susan got a chance to be with her daughter at that critical time. Susan's a nurse and has been by her daughter's side as she's been going through chemotherapy, and she just passed away. So I just wanted to raise that and remember them on this day, because they are strong voices for peace, and Susan maintains that commitment to Veterans for Peace on the national and international level. Thank you. Anybody else?
Well, since we're naming names, how about Rico Vicino?
Yeah.
And now I had one skate away from me, Mike, so.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of people. I've lost
Over
a
the
lot
last
of
few
friends.
years,
Yeah.
a lot of fighters, But
Thank you guys. Be safe.
I am currently dealing with my disappointment in how people responded to the way the system pushed them through fear to vote against themselves and other humans in order to secure an illusory security which did not appear. I posted today about the thing that happens in movies where the bad guy says, "Tell me where the treasure is and I won't kill you." What usually happens? They kill you anyway. And that theme in the movies is supposed to teach people not to give up and not to give in. Now, I can't fault most folks who just live in the midst of all this mess for being driven into these horrible decisions. But I do want to hold it to account the sheepdogs that drive the sheep. Those with social standing that had the ability to call down from their high place to thousands and thousands of people and were silent, or worse, they backed the genociders. So I have determined in the last few hours that I will not expend my anger, my fear, and my disappointment upon the sheep. But those sheepdogs are in for hell.
Yeah, all right.
It's the system. This system raises up and supports people who can hatch a plan like has been worked on all of us and carry it through. This system not only supports that, that's what it's made of. This needs to end. Now, I don't have all the answers about how do you get there, but one thing I do know, that is sitting there wringing your hands and worrying about the fallout is going to just make you crazy, and you're not going to get anywhere. You've got to get up, join an organization, do work, actual work, feed people, carry a sign, demonstrate, get arrested, observe and film, something besides sit there and just let it happen. If you have problems with how you've proceeded, do not let that be an excuse to withdraw. Get mad. Get mad and fight back. How dare you let them treat you like that?
Don't mourn, organize.
Don't mourn, organize. Thank you, Dan. That's a great way to end up.
I could say something, but I don't really want to be videotaped.
Okay.
It's Andy. I'm a member of Portland Committee for Human Rights in the Philippines. We're a member organization of the International Coalition for Human Rights in the Philippines, whose main campaign right now is to expose and oppose U.S.-backed war crimes. So it really is an honor to be here with you all today, to be here with folks who are veterans and who have taken a stance to criticize war and to criticize the policies that lead to war. So I feel very honored to be here with you all. Thank you for putting this on. In terms of names that I'd like to remember today, I'd like to remember Ka Concha, who actually was a peace consultant with the National Democratic Front of the Philippines. There's a civil war happening in the Philippines, and the U.S. has given so much military assistance to the Government Republic of the Philippines. And it is actually a war crime to kill peace consultants in a civil war. This is something that the Government Republic of the Philippines, along with the NDFP, have both agreed to. And the Government Republic of the Philippines has violated their agreements time and time again. It is a war crime to kill a peace consultant. It's a war crime to kill an elder. She would have been 74 this August, but she was actually killed in August before her birthday. So she died, I believe, at 73. And yeah, this is an affront, and I think that we can all see, whether it's in Palestine or the Philippines, this government is giving so much military assistance while the people here are suffering in egregious conditions. And I heard some of y'all chatting about it before we started. But I think we can both see that no matter who would have won in this election, whether you voted one way or the other, all that to say, no matter who would have won either way, they don't actually represent our interests. And I see the people here who know like what our interests are and who are willing to fight for them. So looking forward to continue fighting together through campaigns with iChirp, continue fighting with VFP for Armistice Day and for a future where there will be war no more. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Andy. From the Palestine to the Philippines, stop the U.S. war machine. From Palestine to the Philippines, stop the U.S. war machine. U.S. out of everywhere.
Right on.
Anybody else?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go.
Okay, I'll go.
I'll pay you.
All right, I just want to pay respect and remember David P. Mollenbrock. He died in OIF 2. He was an engineer in Bravo Company, 65th Engineer Company. And we were out there trying to stabilize the nation and trying to create peace. And we stayed and we helped to give the Iraqi people a chance to have their own fair elections. We risked our lives and we sacrificed our time away from our families to make sure that the Iraqi people would have a better country and have a democratic process. And we're not just gonna throw those ideals away and allow the US to fall into some kind of dictatorship. That's not happening. This is about honor. Where is the honor? There's no honor in killing women and children. There's no honor in killing people. Where's the honor? We need to bring back honor. We will not follow somebody who is dishonorable.
Honor for peace.
And one last thing. I need to talk about my late wife, Maria Flores. She died 11 years ago from cancer, service-connected, and I love you, and give a shout out to women veterans too. And so,
And your name again?
I'm Sergeant First Class Flores Erasmo,
Thank you, Rasmus.
and it's about honor.
Honor. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully I don't cry, but it's okay if I do. I don't need comfort and none of that. It's good for me. Our people say that tears are medicine. My name, did I already say my name? My name's Tracy Molina. I served in the Navy inside the combat zone in Desert Storm, but I just like way on the edge of it. Like I didn't do anything or see anything really. But I saw what was happening to the Marines that would leave and come back, and that was the first time I started, I don't know, noticing how much war hurts everyone. It doesn't just hurt who we're hurting, we hurt our own selves. And the suicide rate for veterans more veterans have died by suicide than all the wars combined since 9/11. All the wars combined. So, and we're still begging for resources. I mean, like you were saying, that women veterans are at very high risk for breast cancer, and we don't even have a mammogram machine at the hospital, at the VA hospital. We don't. We have to go jump through all these hoops just to get a test that we're supposed to have, you know? I mean, they're sending billions all over the place, and we can't even have a mammogram machine to save our own lives, you know? It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I just know that I'm going to try really hard this time not to hate Trump supporters, and not to, because I don't want that hate. And I don't want that at all, you know, like some of those people are just really ignorant, and I guess I shouldn't talk that bad about them either, but I'm working on not hating them, because like it hurts to hate people, and I don't want to do that, especially for 4 years. But I feel like that, you know, I feel like Democrats aren't on our side. I feel like Democrats stab us in the back and do exactly what Republicans do. And the Republicans just say honestly what they're going to do. We're going to deport you all, and we're going to do this, we're going to give all, you know, they stab us in the back too, but they're more upfront about their ugliness, and Democrats hide it really well. I mean, I'm way more for Democrats than Republicans, but like there's really hardly any difference between the two of them sometimes, you know, on a lot of issues. And then I also wanted to mention that 1 out of every 3 veterans gets arrested. And that is increasing because of the traumatic brain injuries and chemical dependency, and there's lack of services, lack of community. So there's a lot of veterans that have. Is that a fighter jet? I don't even remember what I was saying. Okay, yeah. So, and they call them justice veterans. Like veterans who get arrested, they call them justice veterans. I get arrested a lot. Let's just let's wrap up everything.
I came just for you.
That sound. I'll wait for 2. Okay, hopefully there's not another one. So when I would go to jail, I would meet other veterans in there, and I met a lot that were stuck in there just because they couldn't get bailed out. That's the only reason why they were there, and they languish in there. This jail has no services. They've had a record number of deaths, and guards have been arrested in connection to those deaths. It's not a good place to be. There's no services inside that jail. There's only TV. And they could be teaching life skills. They could be teaching information about this is what addiction is. This, you know, like just regular information that would help people be healthier when they got out. And the people that there's a program that does go VA program that does go to the jail and visit people, but that's only if the jail puts you on the list. I've been in that jail over 10 times, and I've never. And they even give you an ID bracelet. If you're a veteran, they give you a different kind of ID bracelet. But I've never been on the list to get any services or anything from. They don't put it up. Don't put me on the list. The guards there don't put me on the list. Because I was asking them, like, why am I always getting left out on this? I need to get treatment. I'm on the waiting list for treatment. You know, I've been on the waiting list here for a year. And I just wanted to ask also for some support because I'm going on trial November 21st for a suicide attempt. When the VA crisis line switched to 988, a lot of people there was a glitch. They told us it's going to work the same, and it didn't. There were people begging for help that died that day, and I didn't die, but for 2 days I was trying the crisis line and it wouldn't work. So I'm going on trial for allegedly scratching a fire truck that showed up. While they let all these European American male veterans off with running over protesters, trying to run over protesters, throwing bombs at protesters, what else? Threatening our lives, like one of them threatened all of our lives. Said they were gonna come drag us out of our beds and unalive us. No charges. People here complain about political violence all the time on the windows, but when they do political violence on human beings, they don't care, they don't report it. It doesn't even matter which side. If there's political violence on human beings, it should be reported as much as windows. We should matter as much as windows.
Amen.
And I want the best for Palestinian people, no matter where they are. And it's very hard to watch. It's very hard. I want to do more, but I don't know what else to do. So I'm just saying that much. Thank you.
You've done great. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Anybody else?
Just in case you're feeling like you didn't do anything, you showed up here today, and that's more than an entire town of 700,000 people could manage.
Betsy, would you like to say something about the VA healthcare system?
I'd like to say a couple things.
Okay.
Nothing prepared, so this may be a little bit awkward. My name is Betsy. I worked for many years as a healthcare provider at the VA, and I've also spent many years as an advocate for adequate resources for veterans. working with Dan and others for that. I'm retired now. I'm working largely with a group called Healthcare Workers for Palestine, trying to raise the human rights issues to stop what's going on with our government support of the genocide in Palestine. And we've tried to reach out to healthcare workers more broadly, to the public, to talk about what's going on. And we know that war anywhere is horrible for anyone who participates. And not that I would call what's going on in Palestine a war. It's an assault. It's a horrible genocidal assault. But it harms everyone that is involved. And I am so honored to be able to be with all of you today.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll be brief. I'm Ken Cropper. In the late 60s, I served on a Navy submarine, and I saw a lot of things there that I can't share right now. But when I came back, I went to college on the GI Bill. I went to Portland State University, and at the time, the Vietnam War was going on. So I joined the protests. Many people were protesting that war. And since then, I've seen many wars that America has been involved in. And this genocide, as Betsy said, in Palestine is unbelievable. I've never seen in my life anything as horrible as that. So let's get on this Armistice Day, a big call out for peace in Palestine.
Thank you, Ken.
I'll tell you something, man. You know, I met some people from Jerusalem when I was living in Tokyo. And they're the most peaceful people. And like, they don't want this war, man. They don't want this shit in their life. You know, they're like Jerusalem's an incredibly cosmopolitan city, you know. And for them to slaughter people for no reason, just because they want to do something else, man, it's not cool, man.
No, it's not. Mike, can you say something about your trip to Israel?
I was, I went on a Veterans Peace delegation to Israel and the West Bank in 2013. So we were involved in about 5 demonstrations, and I was mainly working as I had 2 Nikon cameras, so I was taking photographs as fast as I could. You know, we were getting tear gas to the max. I got tear gas at one time so bad that I was in a whiteout. I didn't know where I was at, and all of a sudden somebody grabbed my hand, my wrist, and walked me over to an ambulance. They opened the door, and then they washed my eyes out. And so I stayed there about 5 minutes, and then went back out and I started photographing because the IDF were launching all kinds of shit at us. In fact, there was one time where an IDF sniper fired 2 rounds at me, and they landed about 4 or 5 feet from my shoes. Now, obviously, he could have killed me, so they were probably harassment rounds. But, you know, to be around, we met a lot of Palestinians who stayed in their homes, and the kindness that we were shown was just amazing. I met one man, I can't remember his name, but went to his house, and he had a pack of cigarettes that he had in his pocket, and he was shot from a distance by an Israeli, and the round hit the pack of cigarettes and didn't penetrate his body. So he was holding up this package of Marlboro with a hole practically through it. And then, and I later found out just recently that same man that I was in the house with, his own home, showing us this pack of Marlboro cigarettes, recently the IDF broke into his home. They ransacked the home. He had 2 sons that were in the house at the time. One was shot in the head, and the other one was shot in the leg. The one that was shot in the head is still in the hospital. The one that was shot in the leg has permanent disability. Okay, so just the stuff that's going on in the West Bank right now. I don't know how much people are reading or what you know, but I read bits and pieces about what's going on. But God only knows what's going on in the West Bank. But I just want to say that trip was incredible for all of us that were on the delegation, and I can't tell you how kind the Palestinian people were to us the whole time we were there. So anyway, that's enough of me. Thanks.
Thank you.
All the doctors say that too. All the doctors and nurses that go there, they all say that. All of them.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Peaceful, loving people.
I can say something.
Yeah.
My name is Nadia Hassan. I am a local city councilor nearby. I had asked Dan what I could do on this Veterans Day to honor veterans. He asked me to join him here today. And as you all shared names of people, I wanted to mention Aaron Bushnell.
Yes.
That was a very impactful and devastating death. And then I'm not going to say the name out of confidentiality, but we have a family friend who's been justice impacted, who was a veteran and is going through the system right now in Oregon. So if you could all just say a prayer for that individual, and then anyone who's been impacted by justice because of, I don't want to say justice, anyone who's been impacted by the system of this country that are struggling. I hope that we're able to find better ways to give lives. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia, for coming. And